Hello, everyone. Hey, I hope you've been enjoying the Five for Faith series. Hope it's been something that you can use for you and your family. Contentment. Contentment. We all can use more contentment in our lives. That's our topic today. What brings you contentment? The thought of being satisfied or full of joy. Webster's describes contentment as the state of being happy and satisfied. I like another definition that says it isn't like an excited kind of happiness. It's more like peaceful ease of the mind. It's being satisfied by what you have. Generally, I find myself as a happy person. In fact, on our latest missions trip with the students, they said, Dave, you can make a game out of anything. And I generally am content. I'm super content now that In-N-Out Burger is 30 minutes away, right? Because at any time I could jump in the car and be content with a burger. But, you know, if you're like me, I find myself often in those places that maybe I am dissatisfied or longing for something that I do not have. And if I go too far into that thinking, I complain and oftentimes can be whining about it. Do you find yourself in those places? Well, if you're like me, how can we combat that? If we're believers, how do we take a different mindset? You know, especially during these tough times that we're living in, I think it's one of those things that we have to focus on all the time, is being careful of what we're doing and what we're saying. For me, I need to renew my mind on a daily basis. And so I like what Romans 12 says. Paul reminds us of this thought of not conforming any longer to the patterns of this world, but rather renewing our minds. You know, for me, first, I want to consume the daily bread. I want to consume God's word and refresh and renew by that, asking God to clean up my mind and being prepared for the day ahead. I think that's a really big key. Secondly, it's being careful of what I say, and I'm not very good at this, but being careful of my speech, what I take in, so that it'll be careful of what comes out. It often leads to complaint or discontent. I like what Jesus says about this. He says, it's not the food that you're eating that kind of leads you to be unclean or unfit for worship. It's the bad words that come out. It's like that old saying, garbage in, garbage out, right? And third, the practical side of serving somebody, giving of somebody, often helps us be more content with what we have. Getting outside of ourselves, giving and serving. You know, it's great medicine for the soul. Let me read this, what the Apostle Paul said in Philippians 4, and I think this is a kind of a good way to end this thought that we have today about contentment. Here's what Paul said. I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstance. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether I'm a full belly or whether I'm hungry, whether I live in plenty or in want. I can do everything through Him who gives me strength. Folks, during these tough times that we find ourselves in, consider these three things to kind of renew our minds. Consume His word on a daily basis. Be thoughtful in our speech. And consider how you can serve others, help others around you during this tough time. We can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. Thanks for watching.